Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I am so grateful to be here at Renaissance Unity, and I will tell you, since the last time I've come, you all have expanded in consciousness. My heavens, this place is beautiful. Give yourselves a hand. This is what we're talking about this morning, is breaking away from our smallness to our largeness. And it starts in our mind. I mean, somehow or another, you all saw this. You brought this into being. So it's a time to really celebrate yourselves and your consciousness. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes my life, I become so familiar with my life, I don't see all the accomplishments that I've made. And I forget all these beautiful ways that I break through and see the world differently. And I came to know Reverend Dana in ministerial school in 2000. Well, I came in 2005, he was there in 2004, and he finished in 2006. And so in the 7 years, my heavens, this guy is just, we see people just blossom in front of our eyes when we get committed to our spiritual path. So I'm so glad to be here with you all, because it's so exciting to have these kind of conversations. So the song, I was at the Kelly Clarkson concert not too long ago. She opened for Maroon 5. And you and Kelly, right on the same beat. But where everyone's standing up, I didn't realize that she's saying this song, and it's doing this, take a risk, make a change. Let's say, take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. And we're all standing up, we're all singing this, and I'm like, why are we doing this? Why are we singing this? And there's like thousands of people. And I'm thinking, these words, get everybody up. Everybody's standing. I mean, it's a nice tune, but the words are so powerful. So if we're taking a risk, we're taking a chance, we're making a change, and we're breaking away, what are we breaking away from? I think we're all kind of here by gravity, right? So what are we breaking away from? Because I don't know, when I thought about break, it was usually break up, break down, break dance, did everybody do well? And so we're talking about breaking today. We're going to talk about breaking through and breaking away, and the idea of even breaking through, breaking free, perhaps of the way, the routines that we've come into, beliefs that we've been carrying from perhaps old religions, perhaps old family beliefs, perhaps school systems, perhaps somebody that said something to you. Damon, in the memorial service, they talked about a time that a teacher said to him, go outside, and she didn't listen to what he had to say before she sent him out to the hall, which he went out to the outside of the school. Because he took this literally, or decided to just go outside and teach her a lesson. But the idea is, we're still telling the story because these things get stuck in us. Right? The teacher that didn't understand us, the parent that didn't understand us, the religion that told us we were a sinner. I mean, whoa. Stuff's heavy, right? And so then we're told that day after day, month after month, year after year, and we start believing it. Now, I might have shared this the last time I was here, but I heard lately that, sin is self-induced nonsense. Right? Because walking around, I'm a sinner, nobody listens to me, nobody understands me, doesn't allow you to create from this place of freedom. So the talk today, I'm entitling it Fall into Bliss. Because again, the word fall, as we may think fall into despair, fall into ruin, but how about fall into bliss? One of my students, I teach a lot of classes, and one of the teachers in the class, because the people that are in the class are often teaching me a lot of things, and he said, you know what the deal is with fall? And I said, what? And he said, those leaves, that are green, it's the chlorophyll. That's what makes a leaf green. And then when the seasons start changing, you would think that somehow, the color just changes. But what really happens is the green goes away and the colors are underneath. It's kind of like this idea of our lives, right? As we're breaking away, as we're letting go of sort of what we yesterday even, that will never come again. The beginning of this talk will never come again. There's so many things that we're releasing and as we release them, the colors are underneath. That often that's the greatest fear, that if I release something, I don't know what I'm going to find. The beautiful meditation, how do I step into the unknown and allow that to be a way of life? So we come here to remember the truth, that we are free, that we are one with everything, and that there's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. How would I live if there was nothing to fear? It'd be pretty fun, wouldn't it? Right? Okay, so we're going to practice some of this today. Because I didn't just make this up over cocktails, as they say. You know, Scripture has a lot going on about this, all right? You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the room. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that your good deeds may be seen, and that you glorify your Father in heaven that is within you. So let's just try this on as an affirmation, just for the heck of it, all right? I am the light of the world.
I am the light of the world.
As I let my light shine,
As I let my light shine,
everyone sees better.
everyone sees better.
All right, so you're part of the world awakening. No pressure. but do we see when we come in here, it's sort of like, I'm not just born to suck air and not like myself and feel like a loser, right? That isn't my divine inheritance. That isn't the king and the queen that in the kingdom of heaven that is within me, right? So maybe we just forgot. Maybe the people that raised us forgot. Maybe our teachers forgot. Maybe the religions in which we grew up were based on fear rather than faith and expansion. Okay, so nobody's at fault, but there was some goofy stuff that was taught. So we want to unlearn. So when we think of falling and relaxing, it's into a sense of bliss. All right? So how do we resist this good? Because this is what we do. We spend a lot of time resisting this flow that wants to come through us. And one of the ways we do that is we do that by judging ourselves and others. So see if you can relate to this. The Muslims do not recognize the Jews as the chosen people. The Jews don't recognize Jesus as the Messiah. The Protestants don't recognize the Pope as the leader of the Christian movement. And the Baptists don't recognize each other at Hooters. Everybody always thinks it's a very profound story, and I'm going to get that one. So our problem is that the minute we start judging each other, we start covering up our bliss, right? We start not taking that risk and not breaking away. Somehow now there's a story of me versus you versus the oneness in which we live. And we even do that as unity people, right? I mean, we're so open-minded and we're so evolved, and then, someone may have a different point of view, and somehow they're not as open-minded as we are. Well, see, that really isn't the non-judgment. That is what we really want to learn as people that are breaking away from our old and falling into bliss, is how do we listen to people? I love the idea of saying to someone when they have a different view than I do, tell me why you believe what you believe. Because it's always fascinating why people see the world the way they do. And then that allows me also to have this flow of communication rather than all these walls, these things that keep me enslaved and not free. The other thing that we do is in our language. We are really big on our language of holding ourselves back from being free. You may have heard this. When you're putting that bowl over your light, this is what it can feel like. I would take a dance class, but I'm just too uncoordinated. I would call that person that I'm really interested in, but I'd probably get rejected. I would go exercise, but I've tried that a million times and I hate it. I would learn a new language, but it's always been so hard for me. So there's no easy way to say this, except you've got to get rid of your butt.
That's right.
All right? My friend Terry Wilder has a song. Yeah, you all know Terry, right? Have you heard it?
Yes.
I gotta get rid of my butt.
Yes.
It's bigger than it would appear.
Yes.
It hinders my forward movement because I keep bringing up the rear. And Terry she sings that in the breaks of my song, of my radio show, Let's Get Naked, Revealing Your Authentic Self. I know it's like, but often the thing with life is that we need to strip off these stories. We need to let the green come off to reveal our true colors. And you may not have been taught how to live the outrageous you. You may not have been taught I am the light of the world, but do you think it's important to know about your light right here and right now?
Yes.
Is this important? Let's do one more time.
Yes.
Right, great. Because we're the enthusiasm that we're looking for. I love talking about Dana's mom. She was a cheerleader. And it's great. You know, we need to be our own cheerleaders, and we need to surround ourselves by our cheerleaders. So we resist by judgment. We also resist by our words. So we're often having to, God says, prove me in this. You know, there's the idea of how do we prove the truth of how we live. And so when we're looking at how to break free, how to fall into bliss, it's often a number of things. First of all, we need to start listening to ourselves. Nobody can tell you what your joy, what your bliss is. You are the one that needs to listen to yourself to know that. The next thing we need to do is we need to take some action toward that light. You know, move toward the light. It's not a train at the end of the tunnel. Moving toward it. And then finally, we want to see that, and moving toward the light, that we're all in this together, and that there's really nothing that needs to hold us back. So in having this time of quiet, we have these beautiful meditation practices here at Unity, and to really allow the listening to yourself, listening to that inner voice to be part of your life. Now, I will tell you, when you first sit to listen, you may hear some things that are sort of, oh, I don't believe that. That couldn't be me in there, right? Because often if we don't stop, you know, the voice, what may be, you haven't listened to me for a while. You know, I'm really frustrated about this. And we haven't heard that. So I practice once a year, perhaps even twice a year, going on a silent retreat. And it sounds really holy, but what happens is I get to hear some things that need to be heard, but the first day or two, it's not so pretty. And I went on a retreat with our dear friend, Dr. Reverend at Unity Village. And this idea about judging others, right? I sat down and I thought, oh good, you know, my holy retreat during ministerial school. And I was sitting there, and this woman that was next to me, for whatever reason, she was all in purple. I love purple. But she came and she sat down, she had a purple mat, a purple blanket, and I probably wanted to borrow some of her things, but anyway, she was all purple, and for whatever reason, you know, that the strange thing, something was just bothering me about her. You know, it's in my mind, it's about her, but where is it really? It's in me. So I was just, you know, okay, and she's got all of her purpley things going on. And then I kind of breathed through that, Heidi, you know, really, hello, let's don't do this. And so I didn't have anything to sit. I brought the pillows that were there weren't so great. So over on the side, I found this little bench. And I brought that to sit on my bench, so I'm sitting. So then we all share a dorm room, which is always a lot of fun to sleep with a lot of people. So she was over in her little bunk with her little nightlight reading a book. And so I'm trying to go to sleep like every good meditator does. And she's over there with her little light. So again, I'm sort of, So I went to sleep, and that was okay. So the next day, I'm sitting again on my bench, and now she's making tea. She brought her teapot and her bags, and she's over there making tea. And so I'm just, you know, I'm still being quite holy, but getting very distracted by this person and her purpleness and her tea and her nightlight and all of her things. So I'm recognizing, you may be hearing that, who's my teacher in this meditation retreat?